if you have achieved something, you can shout about it. Because if you've achieved something that you wanted, you've obviously put something out there that you want, you've achieved it or you've received it. We have to put the thanks back out, and we do that by owning that shit. We don't do it by hiding behind worries about what people are going to think about us. Welcome back to Loving Life. Today, I want to talk to you about one of my manifestations that has come to fruition. It's something that's super exciting. But there have been limiting beliefs that have come up for me along the way. Now, those of you who follow me on social media will know what manifestation has come to fruition. It's something that for a good couple of years now, I've wanted, but there was like lots of different reasons why we didn't think we could have this. And last year I made a conscious decision, and those of you who are in my Facebook group might remember this post, but last year, about a year ago, I made a conscious decision to put some energy behind actually manifesting, because I felt at the time, it was a long time since I'd like really put my energy behind trying to manifest something. And this is something that I have wanted for, as I say, for a couple of years, like really wanted. And last year I decided that it's going to happen. So that thing is having a swimming pool in my garden. Now, even now, that brings up so much for me as I'm saying it. And I don't really know like what order to talk about things regarding this subject, because there's so much for me to say. But the thing that comes up naturally for me, I think we'll go with first. And that is my resistance around telling people that I've got a swimming pool in my garden. Like, it's taken me so long to tell people. Like, my closest friends and obviously my family knew that this was happening, but like distant friends and, you know, day-to-day people that I speak to, they had no idea that this was happening. And, you know, I hadn't shared anything about this on my social media until last week. So first of all, I just want to tell you what limiting belief comes up for me around having a swimming pool in my garden. And actually, it's so big that I'm surprised this actually happened. But my limiting belief is that people will think I'm braggy. And if you listen to my podcast for a long time, then this probably won't be a surprise to you. But my limiting belief is that people will think I'm braggy if I have nice things, or if I tell people that I've got something like a large material object, if I've hit a high achievement. Like, this is nothing new to me, although in recent years it has been getting more and more evident that this is a limiting belief for me, probably because I'm doing more work on myself and I'm more aware of things like this, which is amazing because that means I can do something about it. But yeah, so since December, I mean, it's one of those swimming pools that it's pre-made and it's shipped over to your house. And so we ordered this in October, and I'm only just talking about it now. Like, it feels uncomfortable for me to talk about having such an extravagant object. And many of you who live in, I don't know, places like Florida, or lovely warm places, many of you might be thinking, what is she so worried about? You know, we all have swimming pools, but it's not really the done thing in the UK. And, you know, some of the people that I have told, a few of the reactions I've had, or we've had, have been, you do know what country we live in, don't you? And it's so funny because actually, literally the first week after the garden was finished, we had like a proper heat wave, and I was out in the garden every single day. So to those who said that to me, because yes, I do know what country we live in, and we do actually have really warm weather sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, some of you might be thinking, why is it such a big deal? We all have them, but it's not really the done thing. It is an extravagant item in this country. But it's funny though, because I say that, but recently I have like met people who've got a swimming pool in their garden, like people who live in Bristol. So, you know, those little things like that are just a little reminder to me that it's okay, it's safe to have an extravagant item such as a swimming pool, because there are other people around you that have it. Things like that have helped me get to the point of being able to talk about it. I met somebody at a vision board workshop that I did in February, and she had a swimming pool in her garden. In fact, listen to this, right? She had a swimming pool in her garden. She had the company that did it for her took a load of photos, and we were going through in this vision board workshop. The people who were running it had loads of magazines, like home magazines, lots of different types of magazines. Anyway, we're going through these magazines, and the lady who had a swimming pool in her garden, she was like, oh my God, I have to show you. I've just opened this magazine. The first page I've landed on is my garden, the swimming pool in my garden. So like that to me was a bit like, oh my God, so people actually do talk about having swimming pools. But it's still taken me 2 months after that to be able to start talking about it. So I just want to go into a little bit about why I have that limiting belief, because you might be able to put yourself in a similar situation where you've been struggling to talk about something and be able to identify where your limiting belief has come from. And I do feel like this episode might be a little bit higgledy-piggledy because it's so uncomfortable for me to talk about, but this is why I'm talking about it, because this is something that for me, have to push through. And hopefully you'll see that as well. This will encourage you to push through that. Okay, did I just say brain fog? Limiting belief, where does it come from? Okay, so it's not brand new information to anybody who's ever listened to any of my content that I have a fear of judgment. I worry about what people think about me. It's something I've definitely not been shy about sharing, because I feel like it's really important for me to be honest about what my limiting beliefs are. But this fear of judgment shows up in so many different ways for me. And, you know, I quite often get people saying, I can't believe you worry about what people think about you. You know, people who've worked with me, clients of mine, they're like, you're amazing at what you do. Why do you worry about what people think about you? You're really authentic. Why do you worry about what people think about you? But the thing is, like, I know all that. I know I'm good at what I do. I know that I'm authentic, and that is definitely one of my my proudest traits, is that I'm like really upfront about what I'm like. But the thing is, like, when you've got a core belief, a subconscious belief that runs the show for you and shows up in so many different situations in your life, like, you can put things into perspective. You can use your logical brain and possibly get through to that next step if you reframe it. But the fact is, you have got a subconscious belief that it's there, and sometimes you might not even know about it. When I've been doing work, working through things recently, something that comes up a lot for me, which is very much linked to fear of judgment, is that people will think I'm bragging. Now, there are a few times in my past where that have formed this belief. And I know this because we do a lot of work on this in belief coding. Like, this is what we do with belief coding, is we work on past memories and experiences that have formed your current beliefs. So, like, do you remember a few months ago when I'd reached 10,000 downloads on my podcast? Like, it took me ages to shout about that. It took me ages to like announce to the world that I'd achieved that. Whenever I receive compliments, I find it really hard to accept those compliments, and I always negate back with, oh yeah, but, and give them a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? or like a something to pick up on. And then the most recent thing that's come up with me for me to do with this is obviously not being able to be proud of the fact that I have, like, that something has manifested, that I put my heart and soul into manifesting, because I'm worried about what people will think about me. See, the problem with that is, and the problem with not being able to shout about the fact that I had 10,000 downloads, the fact that I can't be proud and tell people that we've now got a swimming pool, the fact that I can't accept a compliment. The problem with those things is, in the world of the law of attraction, in the world of manifesting, that is sending like such a negative message to the universe. Because really, deep down, what I'm feeling is like that I'm scared to talk about that I'm ashamed to talk about that. Really, in order to, when you reach a goal, when you achieve one of your goals that you've been like trying to manifest, you should be shouting out to the universe, like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful, which I am, by the way, obviously. But you should be shouting about that and being proud of it. Whereas what I tend to do is be ashamed of that or be worried about that because I'm worried about what people think about me. So there have been a number of memories that have come up for me, past experiences that have come up for me, when that belief of it's braggy to share your achievements, where that has come up for me. So some of the things that have come up for me that I've had to work on through belief coding is back to the time when I was being bullied by my group of friends at school. Even now, I still find it really hard to say that, being bullied. But round about that time, like, one of the memories that has come up for me a few times recently is being in an art lesson, and one of the girls being in there, it was the main culprit of the main, shall we say, the ringleader of the group, the person that everybody followed. She was in the same art class as me, and I found her laughing at me when the teacher came over to me and complimented the work that I was doing. It's the first time that anybody had complimented anything creative, any of my creative work. And it was the first time that I realised, actually, I'm pretty good at art. But it's really hard. That was really hard for me to accept, because this girl who was sat I can still see it now. It was like a corner, not corner, it was like a square of tables, and she was sat like a quarter of the way round, and I felt her looking over and laughing. So like, that obviously was one of the things that formed this belief that it's not good to be complimented for something. It's not good to know that you're good at something, because you'll get laughed at. And that moment was probably a tiny little snippet in time. She probably doesn't even remember that, but that has partly been one of the reasons why I formed that belief. That's something that I've worked through a lot. That particular memory, I've worked through that a few times recently. So last week, I did a bit of inner work, and I felt that it was time to share with people who follow my journey. So people who follow me on Instagram, people in my Facebook group, the people who subscribe to my emails. I felt like it was time to share that manifestation with them. But I had to do lots of inner work before I was able to do that. But I'll tell you what, when I did, I received nothing but support, lovely messages, and people just recognizing that a lot of hard work and a lot of energy has gone in to making that wish come true. So thank you to those people. If you haven't seen it, head over to, why not join my Facebook group or follow me on Instagram, take a look. I'm so happy with it. And like, Why shouldn't I be happy with it? And it's funny because in my goal setting workshop, Flow and Flourish, which when I did it last year, I talked about this with the people who did it with me last year, and I put that down on my list, on my goals, on my list of goals. And it wasn't until that's when I first started getting quite serious about it. But it's funny because one of the things I talk about in that session is that we as women, I think not just women, but mainly women, but we have problems with, or we have trouble saying when we want nice things, because I don't know, I just find it comes up a lot for women. We find it hard to say when we want something, like something material, especially. Like we want things like happiness for everybody. We want things like, an ease of life, easy finances, just so as everybody's happy. Because that makes us happy. We struggle to come up with things that we want, material things that we want, extravagant things that we want. So it was funny, I put that down on my list, on my goals list, really not at the time thinking that I would do anything about it. But here we are, just over a year later. And well, at the time when we ordered it, it was within a year. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really something that I'm proud of. And also I'm going to be able to offer retreat days and things like that now. I would have anyway, but I can do it at home. How cool, how fucking cool. And yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. It's something I wanted and I've got it. I've done it with a lot of help from Craig, obviously, but we've done it. So I guess my main message today is if you have achieved something, you can shout about it. Because if you've achieved something that you wanted, you've obviously put something out there that you want, you've achieved it or you've received it. We have to put the thanks back out, and we do that by owning that shit. We don't do it by hiding behind worries about what people are going to think about us, worries that other people are still going to be better than us. The more we can own our achievements, the more we can be proud of ourselves, the more we're going to get back. And I'm really looking forward to, now I've taken the plunge and actually spoken about it. And, it might not seem significant to some people, but the thing for me is the fact that I've had to really swallow, or not swallow, that's not the right word, that I've had to really jump over that belief of people are going to think I'm braggy by talking about it. People are going to think I'm braggy by even having it. I've had to really jump over that. I've had to do a lot of work on that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, now I've done that, what happens next. Because by working through that and saying, actually, fuck that belief of thinking this is what people are going to think of me. Actually, it doesn't matter what people think about me. What matters is that I've decided to manifest something. I've put my energy behind it and it's happened. I've done the things with a lot of work, with a lot of help from, somebody else, but it's happened. And that is what counts. So watch this space for a start, because I feel like this is going to help me be braver. I hope it inspires other people to really go for big goals. When you're manifesting, really go for something big, whether it seems achievable or not. When I put that down, there is not a chance I actually thought that was going to happen, but I put it out there, I put my energy behind it, and I sort of let it go. And actually, the more and more I talk about it, the more work I do on it, little things that have been there for me for a long time. I've said in the past, my throat chakra is always the first to become blocked. My throat is always the first thing to suffer when I start coming down with something, which isn't very often. But that's always the first thing, is my throat chakra. I have had a lot coming out of that. I don't mean to be gross, but when I'm cleaning my teeth in the morning, I am bringing up a lot from my throat. I'm not going to go into any more detail on that, but there is a lot coming out of my throat. Let's just put it that way. And it's all around communication. It's all around, speaking about things that I've found uncomfortable, but it's coming out. Anyway, that's enough about that. I just want to talk about how amazing my last group session that I held was. I held an amazing session. Like, I did that. Look at me bragging about what I've done. Why shouldn't I brag? It was amazing. And every single person who was on that session told me so. We had the most amazing session. Everybody left feeling quite substantially more positive than when they came. There were some that were not so positive when they came and felt like a million times better. And there were some that were already quite positive when they came and still managed to leave feeling even more positive. So that to me is a very successful session, and I am so thankful for what I do. If you haven't joined one of my group sessions yet, why not join me next time? Before I go today, I just want to tell you some amazing feedback that I've been having from the ladies in my membership. I asked them to think about the people that they're around that make them feel more positive and happier. And one of my members said that she struggled to think of 3 people because she is the most positive out of all of them. And that is the amazing thing about the membership, is that it brings you to a community where there are people around you who want to do the work that you're doing, the people that want to make their life more positive. Like, this person finds it really hard to talk about self-development and things that she's working on herself with the people closest to her, because they're not on the same wavelength as her. And I find this an amazing testament to the membership, because you're just around people who are doing that work with you. And my main aim for the membership is to be it sounds a bit cheesy, but your self-development bestie, because self-development is a lonely place. Like, once you start becoming more aware of yourself and your limiting beliefs and the things that you need to do to better your life, you start to realize that a lot of people around you, they're not on the same wavelength as you anymore. So it does become quite lonely. So that is my aim for the membership, and for the podcast, to be fair. But we just take it that one step further in the membership. My aim is to be that person who's there for you, or to create a community of people who are there for you, who do get what you're going through, people you can talk to and share your wins with. Another member shared that she has given me permission to share this, but that she is coming off of her antidepressants. So not so long ago, she was on, I don't know what this all means and everything, but then just the numbers are quite significant. So she was on 250 milligrams on her antidepressants, and she's now coming down to 25. Like, that is a massive, massive drop. And she's given me permission to share that, and said that the membership that she's a part of has got a lot to do with that. So, oh God, that just makes me so proud. Like, that is my aim. That is my goal, is to help people see that a better life, a more positive life is possible, and to support you whilst you find it. So if you want to come with me on this journey even further, the membership doors are going to be opening next month. If you're interested in finding out more about what the membership is, then click the link in the show notes, and I can send you over some information when the doors open again. It's something I am super proud of, and I'm starting to see what an amazing thing I've created. Yes, I can say that I have created something amazing. Okay, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please do let me know what has come up for you today. Have I triggered you by talking about having an extravagant item? Is that something that you struggle to do, is decide on having extravagant items and getting behind actually having that? Have you realised that even though you're fucking amazing, that you struggle to talk about it? Have you realised that there's a limiting belief that you need to break through in order to achieve something, or in order to share your achievements? I'd love to know. Please do let me know. Come and follow me on Facebook, in my Facebook group, or on Instagram. Like, it's a really safe space where there are people who are going through the same stuff. Hope to see you there, and I will see you next time. Bye.